Welcome back to the Global Landscapes Forum 2019 here in Luxembourg. I'm Natasha Elkington, your host for the day, and we are discussing breakthroughs in sustainable finance here in Luxembourg. And this afternoon, I have the pleasure of speaking with Corinne Molitor, who is a partner at Impact. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So please tell us more about your role and your organization.
Yeah. So, Impact is a private advisory company created in 2007 and really focused on impact finance. So what we do is we help our clients, that can be DFIs, it can be private fund managers or organizations, to structure their fund and to manage their fund. So we are not investment managers ourselves, but we help our clients to really through the design and the implementation phase of their fund, and then we can stay on as management support for the board of directors of these impact funds or for the fund managers themselves.
Okay. And then in terms of ICFA?
Yeah, so a few years ago, about 3 years ago, we discussed with a number of impact actors here in Luxembourg and about the need to create more intermediaries in the impact finance space, and especially in the climate finance space. Because there are a lot of investors on one side and then there are a lot of investment opportunities, but we found that there was something missing in the middle. So intermediaries who can source deals, manage these deals and find the necessary investors. And with since Luxembourg is the second investment fund domicile in the world, we thought, okay, it's only logic to combine experience in fund structuring, setting up and management, and on the other hand in climate finance and our engagement also as a country in terms of climate finance. So we came up with the idea to create an accelerator for first-time climate finance fund managers. Okay. So we are supporting, in fact, people who have a tested investment strategy in climate finance. That could be mitigation, adaptation or RED+, but who have never managed these investment strategy within a fund structure. And so we are supporting them to set up their fund through trainings, through coaching also, and a bit of a financial support also in terms of pre-financing of fund setup costs, and an operational loan for the fund manager who has to go through this lengthy structuring process awaiting his first revenues out of the fund.
Okay, very interesting. So how do you select applicants? Like, what's the criteria?
Yeah, so as I said, we cover the three main areas of climate finance, so mitigation, adaptation, RED+. But then there are eligibility criteria to make sure that investments are really in the space of the climate finance sectors as defined. So those sectors are the same then for the Lux Flag climate finance label. So we ensure consistency also between the different initiatives here in Luxembourg. So those are eligibility criteria. Then another one is eligibility related to the fund manager. So it has to be a first or second time fund. Okay. The team needs to be dedicated to that project. And then there are criteria related to the fund concept. It needs to be a for-profit fund with a triple bottom line. And so the structure can be established in Luxembourg. That's a plus, of course. But we are not necessarily closed for structures from other jurisdictions. So that's the eligibility criteria, and then we have selection criteria that are more qualitative. So what is the innovation of the investment strategy, what's the scalability, what's the strength of the team, also the personal and financial commitment of the team, and what is, in terms of fund concept, is it really in line with investors' expectations? In terms of revenue, how strong is the impact management and measurement theory and framework within the fund, and so on. So this is more a qualitative assessment. Okay. And this one is done by an independent selection committee, and then it's the board of the ICFA, so of the International Climate Finance Accelerator Luxembourg, who validates the final selection.
Okay, so it's quite a bit of a process. Yes, it is. Okay, so would you tell us more a bit about your last cohort then?
Yes, so we, in fact, the first cohort we selected was in 2018. The second one, so that's the last one, was in spring 2019. Okay. So a whole process takes about 5 months. Huh? Okay. So it's it's quite thorough. Yeah. We ask for a whole application file, including And the application, I think, is an acceleration process already in itself. And that's what the feedback we receive from the fund managers, because they are obliged to really structure their ideas, to put them on paper, and to organize them in a way that is comprehensive for us as ICFA, but also for potential investors. So the last cohort is quite diverse. So, and that's very important, that we try to diversify in not only between the cohorts that are selected, but also within a cohort in terms of the different sectors, geographies, maturity also of fund management teams, and also diversity in terms of female and male composition of the fund team. And so the last cohort that we selected is, if I go by alphabetic order, so it's Add Value, that is a team raising a fund for smallholder farmer adaptation to climate change in Latin America. Then we have CAMCO, which is a London-based team raising a fund for energy efficiency in Africa. Then we have the Clean Cooking Alliance, together with CIMA as a fund manager, who raised the first commercial clean cook stove fund for Africa. Right. And then we have Terra Global, which is a US-based team raising a fund for forestry and landscape investment in Colombia.
Wow, very interesting.
So it's quite diverse.
Yeah, quite diverse. Very interesting. So how are these new initiatives connected to landscape restoration and finance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So landscape is really broad. You find it not only in forestry, but agriculture is landscape management. I think even, so we had in the first cohort, we had a small hydropower fund. That is also important in terms of landscape, because you need to make sure that biodiversity is respected, that the small power plants integrate well in the landscape, that they are also from the social perspective, that we are sure to measure the impact of an investment on the local communities. And so I think it's nearly all the funds are really connected to landscape management in one way or another. Be that through the direct investment, be that if you consider the whole value chain of the fund, and apparently stakeholder involvement and impact on the local communities, for me, is also part of landscape management.
Yes, very interesting. So I understand you also have an awards ceremony this afternoon. There's some Dragon's Den situation. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Yeah. So today at the GLF forum in Luxembourg, we are announcing the third cohort of fund managers that will be supported by the ICFA program over the next 18 months. Okay. And we'll have first an award ceremony. They all came to Luxembourg for the event, so I'm really glad. And then we will organize a Dragon's Den event, where potential investors sit in the jury and they rate the performance of the pitches that are going to be done by the fund manager. So it's a first occasion to officially pitch their fund in front of a community of climate finance investors.
Okay, very interesting. And I guess if they don't get into if they don't win, they have opportunities of maybe meeting other investors, because they've got all their
Exactly. So they are in the ICFA program, so that's for granted. Yes. And the pitch is an additional opportunity for them to meet investors and to present their project. But in any case, today they are not investment ready yet, so that's why they go through the acceleration process. But I think it's a very good feeling that they get already on what are the investors' expectations.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you. So I guess my last question would be so what do you think these forums are important in terms of bringing in the finance sector when it comes to climate action and climate change? Why are these kind of conferences important?
Yeah, I think these forums are important because, landscape investment even 2 years ago wasn't really on the map. People thought about climate action, okay, I'll invest in renewable energies and what else is there? Mm-hmm. So now we see that there are more and more a variety of investment opportunities coming up and that are investable. And there's a lot of effort still that needs to be made in terms of technical assistance, getting these opportunities ready for investment. But then we need to make sure that there's a natural flow from the more philanthropic public community and funders to the more private and commercial funder side. And that's why I think these type of events are very important.
Yes, good. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you speaking with us, and I wish you a nice rest of the day. Okay, thank you, Corinne.